gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Such a tragic story. The victim and his wife, both special education teachers from Mexico. Tonight, the wife spoke out here where her husband was killed.
Era su ilusión ser papá.
It was always his dream to be a father.
Cradling her 16-month-old son, Elliot, Sarai Varela Lopez remembered her husband, a fellow special education teacher who was shot to death on a metro bus last week.
Woo! So, we also have people in the Comunitino who are being affected by this crime, this violence, this crime wave that has completely exploded under Joe Biden's administration, I might add. Day after day, we have story after story of preventable crimes being, able to just go unchecked across the nation. But this one just so happens to come out of LA, and we know California as a whole is a failed state. And this one hits home because you have a father and a husband who, came to this country. I'm not sure if it was legally, but he's even affected by the crime in this country.
Era una persona muy respetuosa,
He was a very respectful person.
muy inteligente,
Very
tenía
smart.
siempre de qué hablar.
He was a know-it-all. He always knew about everything.
The trio came to Southern California from Mexico on a tourist visa in October to visit family in Montebello. On Thursday evening, Juan Luis Gomez Ramirez was riding a metro bus on his way home from a job.
So they came on a tourist visa in October. I mean, yeah, honestly, you probably should have stayed in Mexico. It might have been safer. In Joe Biden's America, it's not it's not safe. So he probably would have been safer in Mexico because he would have known the layout. He would have known who's tweaking, who's not. And unfortunately, he came to the States and on a quote unquote tourist visa, which I didn't even know if they're giving visas out anymore. They're just letting people, come over, asylum seekers. And this is the result.
When Winston Apolinario Rivera allegedly sat down behind him, pointed a gun at his head, and pulled the trigger.
I feel helpless.
Enojada porque
And I
no
feel
sé
angry.
nada de él.
Rivera was eventually caught and has now been charged with murder. The victim's lawyer says it's too little, too late, and more needs to be done to address the mayhem on Metro.
Woo! And this is public transit, as you guys can see. And it has completely failed, just like the other Democratic state in New York. So, and obviously LA is super woke, super Democratic city. So you have these issues of safety when traveling on the public transit system, the city bus. Okay? And it looks like this father and husband was taken out by a burrito gremlin on demon time.
I have some serious concerns about security. It's coincidental that on the same day that Mayor Baz gives a press conference, you have a tragedy like this happen.
A memorial is grown.
So he is very critical of Mayor Bass. And I mean, I don't think that we need, we know what time it is, right? Karen Bass or Corinne Bass. I don't know how she's pronouncing it these days, but obviously she has a lot of people criticizing the way that she handles things. I think she actually got robbed. I think her house got robbed too in the past. So, I mean, this is happening all under her watch. She's super woke, wanted to defund the police and all that. And, you're just seeing the results of her wacko leftist policies. And the people are going to continue to vote women, men, Democrats in just like this until it gets so unbearable that, you know, LA is a wasteland, which it already is, but even more so where there's just like nothing operable.
Growing on the Commerce Street where the shooting happened. The family says they want answers and justice.
With every day that passes, I feel more and more confused, like I don't have any answers. And I want him to be punished because he ended our family. He took away my husband.
Now, in addition to that murder charge, the suspect also faces a special allegation because he allegedly used that firearm. And if he's convicted as charged, he faces 35 years to life in prison. The family has set up a GoFundMe account. If you'd like to help, you can find information on that on our website, foxla.com. Reporting live from Commerce, I'm Chelsea Edwards. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
So heartbreaking, Chelsea. Thank you.
A UPS driver is shot and killed in the middle of the day while out on his normal route in an industrial complex in Irvine.
Witnesses heard the gunshots, saw the shooter, and tried to help that driver, but it was too late. KTLA's Chris Wolf live in Irvine with the latest on a developing story tonight. Chris.
Yeah, Micah and Shares, as you said, this is an industrial area. The UPS truck and the victim's body are still out here on the scene not far behind me. This has been a very long and painstaking investigation since that UPS driver was shot dead around 3 this afternoon.
As I zoom in here, we got a flashbang going on here.
A deadly shooting, an explosive standoff with the murder suspect. This was a fateful Thursday in Irvine. It all started around 3 p.m. in an industrial pocket not far from a popular shopping mall, Irvine Spectrum Center. Business owners and employees tell us their regular UPS delivery man was parked along the curb on a lunch break.
Damn, and imagine working for UPS and you just get clapped. They got you laying on the side of the street. And as your life is pretty much coming to an end, you're thinking, man, I don't get paid enough for this ish. But it's too late, man. It's too late. This is how dangerous these streets are. Random UPS drivers getting knocked off, random people shooting and killing you on the city bus. LA is a fallen city.
Their regular UPS delivery man was parked along the curb on a lunch break. He was in the driver's seat, the door wide open, when another man pulled up in a pickup truck and shot the UPS driver with a barrage of bullets.
Wow.
One man working nearby says he thought he was hearing a jackhammer, which he later learned was rapid gunfire.
The driver of the suspect vehicle never got out of the car, just reached across the passenger seat and shot the driver through the window.
Insane.
Investigators say nothing was stolen and this appears to be a targeted hit and not a robbery turned deadly.
Wow.
Irvine police officers first on the scene pulled the victim out of the truck and tried to revive him.
They didn't even want the merchandise. They didn't want the packages. They wanted his life.
But he was already gone.
I just seen him like about 10 minutes right before that happened. He dropped off a package for us. He was Asian. He was a real good friend of mine. He came by every day and he dropped off our packages and he was he had.
Did he say he was Asian? Run it back.
Right before that happened, he dropped off a package for us. He was Asian. He was a real good friend of mine. He came by every day and he dropped off our packages and he was he had a family. He was a good man.
Damn. So they clapped this Asian brother here while he's on his shift. I mean, what's going on? Is this Yakuza? Is this the Triad? Well, I mean, what? This is wild. This is wild. You don't hear this every day.
A couple hours later, Orange County deputies spotted the pickup parked at Santiago Canyon Road and the 241. Apparently, the shooting suspect was holed up in the back seat. SWAT teams closed in and used flashbangs, canine teams, and high-powered weapons to overcome the man and pull him out of the truck. Sky 5 was overhead during the capture. Witnesses say the suspect had been wearing dark clothing and a medical face mask at the time of the shooting, but was only wearing dark pants and a blood-soaked white t-shirt at the time of his arrest. So did the two men know each other? What possibly could have been the motive for this deadly shooting? Investigators certainly hope to get those answers from the suspect. For now, reporting live in Irvine, I'm Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
We begin with a developing story tonight, a murder investigation underway. This following a shooting in La Quinta over the weekend that left a 17-year-old boy dead. 2 arrests have been made in this case as the community grieves. News Channel 3's Jennifer Franco shares ways students and families can cope with this tragedy.
Questions remain about the circumstances surrounding a shooting that took the life of a 17-year-old La Quinta high school student. Now the community is mourning the loss of a life taken too soon.
Woo! So you have a 17-year-old who is clapped at a prom party, off-campus prom party that is, but we're seeing more and more of these prom parties being deadly, and it's getting rough in the Comunitino. These burrito gremlins are on demon time.
As the La Quinta Blackhawks prepare for graduation later this week, tragedy is being felt among students and staff. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Desert Sands Unified School District confirms, "It is with great sadness that the staff of Desert Sands Unified School District and La Quinta High School confirm the tragic death of senior Jaden Ramos. Jaden died early in the morning of May 19th while at a post-prom event off campus." The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says deputies responded to Paseo del Rey just after 2:30 Sunday morning for reports of a shooting. While searching the area after arriving, deputies were told that a person with a gunshot wound had arrived at a local hospital where they died. The victim, now identified as Jaden Ramos. 2 18-year-old suspects were arrested in 2 separate locations in connection with the murder. A letter to parents from the La Quinta High School principal states Desert Sands Unified is offering crisis support to anyone in need. Danielle McLean Parks with Palm Springs Unified says these types of resources are crucial.
There are some hard conversations and hard questions that people have with situations like this, but I think it's important to keep those lines of communication open.
McLean Parks says it's important to consider a child's individual needs when processing grief or tragic circumstances. She also has this advice for parents.
Be aware of the social media or media that your child is consuming.
So yeah, that's a good point. A lot of young kids are participating in the op culture. The op culture, better known as the opposition culture, where they are manufacturing ops online, getting in arguments, beefs, debates, gang tiffs, if you will, online. Facebook Live seems to be a platform that caters to these types of beefs. Also Instagram Live, which is still under the Meta umbrella. So we're seeing this go on, and it's almost unstoppable, because unless the parents are actively keeping their children away from social media and the dangers of social media and instigating beefs and all this kind of stuff, it's something that can't be stopped, except for a provision or whatnot that stops young teenagers at a certain age point to get on these sites, because it's creating a lot of division within the schools. It's a huge distraction. You have beefs that are off campus coming on campus and vice versa, as you see here. and it's resulting in the loss of life.
Rumors can start, people can hear things or say things. Have conversations with them about what they're seeing.
Also, remember there are plenty of mental health resources available, including a Riverside County mobile crisis unit, but also
reach out to your school for things like grief support groups and, making sure that our students are connected to one another and feeling that they're not alone in a situation like this.
In La Quinta, Jennifer Franco, News Channel 3.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department is asking anyone with information about the shooting to please come forward.
All right, guys, so we do have 2 suspects in the La Quinta high school shooting of Jaden Ramos. So here we have the 2 suspects. I will get into the article and then we'll get y'all up out of here. The 2 suspects arrested for the murder of 17-year-old Jaden Ramos, seen below here, on Sunday night have now been formally charged as of Wednesday. On Sunday, May 19th, deputies responded to reports of a shooting at a post-prom party in La Quinta last Sunday night. While searching the area, deputies were notified of a subject who arrived to a local hospital with injuries consistent to a gunshot wound. The subject, who was later pronounced dead, was identified as La Quinta High School senior Jaden Ramos. This tragedy took place only a few days before La Quinta High School's graduation ceremony, which will take place on Thursday. The 2 suspects are 18-year-old Elijah Alfredo Martinez of Bermuda Dunes and 18-year-old Dominick Cruz Venecia of Coachella. Allegedly, according to court documents, both Elijah Alfredo Martinez and Dominick Cruz Venecia were armed with firearms. However, Dominick Cruz Venecia personally and intentionally discharged his firearm. It is further alleged that probation may not be granted. Thank goodness, right? Both suspects are set to be arraigned this afternoon at the Larson Justice Center in Indio. So, yes, RIP to Jaden Ramos. He was taken out, unfortunately, by these 2 burrito gremlins on Demon Time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.